very soon? Great. So today's session is about reaching your highest health potential. This means you're doing things already to get there, but you may not be there completely yet. Our goals for today are for you to understand what your next steps are. What is it that you might have been missing that you could add on to get to that next level? And to open your mind to the possibilities of doing it. You know, I've seen people who've come to my seminars and they really want to do it, but there's one little thing that they cannot do, or in their mind they feel they cannot do. For example, someone feels that they cannot cook without oil. Like, why should you leave oil completely? And often they ask questions like, what about olive oil, or what about coconut oil? Because it just cannot be in their mind that we could live without oil. But we have to remember that centuries and centuries of our species were living without oil, because oil is something very recent after the Industrial Revolution. Since we have machines that can extract oil from seeds. Now, we are going to discuss 10 points today. And the very first point, as you know, is food. So in food, the first step is whole. Sometimes we don't always have whole food, even though our intention is there. Some people have hand pound rice, and hand pound rice is rice that has been polished by hand. And so it's not much better than rice that has been polished by a machine. Or we peel our vegetables and we just can't fathom that, you know, you don't need to peel lauki, or you don't need to peel pumpkin, or you don't need to peel potatoes. Whole means eating that food as whole as possible. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to eat it in the whole form. For example, if you have peanuts, peanuts are whole. But if you crush them up and make them into peanut butter, you are still eating a whole food. However, if you extract oil from it and throw away the fiber, you are no longer eating a whole food. So I hope you all understand the concept of whole. That means fruit juice would not be a whole food, fruits would. It actually means eat in a way a monkey would eat whole. And that's why we don't use oil, because oil is never whole. It's not a whole food. Whether it's olive oil, or whether it's coconut oil, or even virgin coconut oil or virgin olive oil, it's not a whole food, and therefore we do not use it. The second is make sure that all your food is plant-based. And that's pretty simple, because it's easy to know what is animal-based. It's, you know, milk and butter and cheese, as well as fish and eggs and all other things that come from animals. So make sure your food is plant-based. Now here, you know, sometimes the food isn't completely plant-based, and that's only because we don't know how it's cooked. For example, did you know that naan is always cooked with eggs or milk? And khandvi and dhokla often have curds in it. So, or even, you know, I live in South India, and they give chilies in the restaurant that have been marinated in curds or buttermilk. So we want to avoid all animal-based foods completely. And that's why it's really important to know how it's cooked. But if you don't, when you order your food in a restaurant, tell them that you are completely vegetarian and you're allergic to all animal proteins, even milk, so that they make sure that they don't put any of these things in your food. Actually, when we consume coconut milk powder, there's a bit of milk powder in it. If you consume, and I'm sure you don't, but if you consume potato chips, they put milk powder in it. Milk powder is put in almost every packaged food these days. But since we're having whole foods, we don't have to worry so much about that. And then your food should be organic. And this is really important. And I've seen people who think that all their food is organic, or all the food grown around them is organic, or just because it comes from the next door farm, it's organic. And this is not true. When I went to Nairobi, I found that many people in Nairobi felt that the food in Kenya is organic. But it's not. They use plenty of pesticides in Kenya. And that's why there are organic markets, but there's not enough people who buy from them. So they only happen once a week in Karen and other places. But we have to be aware that really, in most countries in the world, the regular food, even if you're living in the countryside, is not organic because, for example, in India, the people who sell pesticides tell the farmers it's a medicine, it's really good for your plants, you should use it. In Tamil Nadu, they even give pesticides for free. And once plants start being given pesticides or sprayed with pesticides, they cannot grow without them. So it's a real vicious cycle. Once you get it for free, you have to keep buying it. And the last thing is water. I see that many people still have preconceived ideas of when to drink water. And we have these ideas that we shouldn't drink right after eating, or we shouldn't drink while we're eating, etc., etc. And there's only one rule, really: listen to your body. If you're thirsty, when you're thirsty, drink. If you're thirsty while you're having dinner, drink. If you're thirsty before dinner or after dinner, drink. I went to Kenya and I watched animals, and animals almost always drink after they've been eating. If all animals do that, why should we not do it? Drink when you're thirsty. Now, if you have done all this and you haven't got the results you seek, and by the way, before I go there, I just want to check with you what is your current status? That means that you have four things to select from, four options. I have followed the plan and I'm totally well. I still have some medicines to reduce. I want to do it, but I haven't been able to do it yet. I've seen results and I want to get to the next level. Wherever you are, please click into that box and then submit your vote so that I see where we are today. And I see a lot of people today saying, I've seen results and I want to get to the next level. Congratulations. And some people are saying, I want to do it, but I haven't been able to do it yet. Can you all see these? Oh, you can't see this. Let me share this with you so that you can see what you all have voted. Can you see the polls now? So you can see that a lot of people have said, I've seen results and I want to get to the next level. And many have also said, I want to do it, but I haven't been able to do it yet. And I hope to help you today. And some who are saying, I still have some medicines to reduce. And there are even some of you, congratulations to you. I have followed the plan and I'm totally well. Congratulations. And especially thank you for coming here today. Okay. So suppose if you have done all of this in food and you haven't got the results you seek, then here's what you can do. Remember that grains are not human food. If you see green fields of wheat or rice, your mouth doesn't water, but a cow's mouth will. we are eating cow food when we eat grains, or we're eating bird food because birds love grains. So these foods are not foods for our species. Our mouth waters when we see fruits or vegetables hanging there. And so if you've already been doing this, try reducing the grains. And in place of grains, you can put in more of potatoes or root vegetables, which give high calorie. Potatoes, carrots, beetroot, sweet potato, yams. These can give you high amounts of calories instead of grains. And also include more raw. I've seen many people, especially people in India, who consider a salad as a few sticks of cucumber and a few sticks of carrot. And that's not a salad. So please do look up the salad recipes on our website and try to incorporate really delicious salads into your menus every day. And actually, when you start eating raw, the cooked food and the grains begin to drop off. For example, there's an amazing raw broccoli salad on our website. And I would really like to encourage all of you to try it because it's a meal by itself. So it takes just 10 minutes to make. You can make and keep it. And it's a really good meal when you're traveling because it stays well and it's so filling and it's so healthy and it's just amazing. So that's about food. And now we're going to number 2, the second step. The second step is, have you done all your tests? Because we can't reduce medicines without testing. Sometimes I've seen that people have done their tests and the cholesterol levels are so low and yet they haven't stopped their statins. Now, when we take medicines we don't need, it actually gets in the way of healing. So it's really important to get rid of all the medicines that you don't need. And for this, we must do tests. If you have diabetes, please make sure that you use your glucometer regularly. If you have high blood pressure, please make sure that you use your blood pressure instrument regularly. It's just like all the people who want to lose weight, they are checking their weight regularly. So keep checking. Now, I've seen that many people avoid tests. And there are several reasons. And the reason I'm listing these is because some of them may relate to you. Avoiding tests is one of the reasons we don't get the results we seek. Why do we avoid tests? Sometimes it's because we don't have time. And honestly, a test in time saves 9. I've seen people, one of my very good friends right now is in hospital with heart disease, and he could have avoided it had he tested. So it's really important to test. So don't say you don't have time. And those of you who are in India, I want to let you know of a really good method. Look up ThyroCare's website. Just order tests from them. They will come to your house. They will take the blood sample and they charge you less than most other people. The second reason people avoid tests is avoiding the costs. But the costs are so minimal compared to the cost of getting sick. So please don't avoid your tests. And how often should you do the test? If you're overall well, at least once a year. If you're not well, maybe once in 6 months. And if you have really severe illness and you want to reduce your medicines, like if you have diabetes or hypertension, you can test every day because that's doing it at home. Now, this is a big reason people who have been cheating just avoid tests because they think that they will stop cheating and then the test will be better, and they don't want to see the test while they've been cheating. But I highly recommend that if you've been cheating, test then, because um, that will encourage you to get back on the wagon. Always test while you've been cheating. Don't wait till you get, when we've reduced our medicines and then we slowly start cheating. And then I've seen that some people land into trouble because they don't want to test. They don't want to know how much they've been cheating. They always promise themselves they stop cheating, but they don't do that. So another reason people avoid tests is they don't want to know. They are too scared to know where they are. Don't do that. And some people don't realize the importance of it. And my very good friend Ram, who's not with us, not here with us today, but he helped me get the webinars going. Ram, um, didn't realize the importance of getting his vitamin B12 and D tests because he didn't have any big problem. And then one day he got frozen shoulder, and 1 month later he spoke to me about it, and he said, I'm in excruciating pain. I have frozen shoulder. Do you think I should get my B12 done? And I said, yes, don't take any painkillers, just get your B12 done. His B12 was very low, so was his vitamin D. Within 2 injections of B12, that frozen shoulder of 1 month got better. Can you imagine? And that's why a test in time saves 9. And some people say they want to live naturally. And what's natural about tests? But if you want to live naturally, then really do it. Go to the countryside, drink water from a stream, grow your own vegetables. I promise you, you will not need any of these tests or any of this medicine. But if you're living in Dubai or London or Nairobi or Mumbai or Noida or Bangalore, we are not living naturally anyway. So when we do live unnaturally, we need to take support of unnatural things. Now, there are some tests which I prefer to avoid, and those are tests which can actually cause harm, like X-rays and CT scans. And often you can get a hint from the blood tests. So these aren't always required. Always do the blood test first and see if they are fine. Okay, so we've done food and we've done tests, and the third is cookware. If you're like me, you might find it very difficult to throw away things. And if you have a microwave, you may not want to throw it away. But trust me, it's really worth throwing away your microwave, because microwave is just something, but your body is something that's going to be with you your entire life. If you give more importance to your microwave than your body, how will we get healthy? Aluminum. I've seen people use aluminum pressure cookers and they don't replace them with steel. That's a mistake, because when we get Alzheimer's or um, Parkinson's or something like that due to all this aluminum, there is no way out of it. So let's throw out the aluminum pressure cookers or aluminum vessels that we're using now. And non-stick. Non-stick is so useful, especially when you're cooking without oil. However, it's really important that we don't use non-stick, because non-stick, once it's scratched, becomes a carcinogen. We actually get cancer from it, and so we really need to get away from this. Okay, so we've covered food and tests and vessels, utensils, and now eating out. There's so many reasons that we can't do the right food, and one of them is because we're eating out. And why do we eat out? Some of us have no time to cook. I want to share with you two very simple meals that you can have anytime you don't have time to cook. One is green smoothie. Put green leaves in a blender, a few bananas or frozen bananas, and other fruit. Blend it with a bit of water into a really creamy, luscious, thick shake. 2 glasses of this is a meal by itself. The second one, date nut seed shake. Almonds, sesame seeds, dates, a bit of water, some flavoring like saffron or cardamom. Turn on the blender, make it into a thick shake. It's so delicious. Recipes on our website. Now, another meal is an oatmeal. Why do they call it oatmeal? Because it's a meal by itself. So you get whole oats or steel cut oats, not white oats, because they are refined. Pour hot water over them and let them soak. While they're soaking, put in a spoonful of tahini, some chopped up dates, nuts, and even seeds, sesame seeds or sunflower seeds or flax seeds, and then mix it up, and it's an amazing meal. So when you have no time to cook, those are 3 ideas for you. There are a lot more. Look on our website. Another reason that we eat out is because there's free food in the office or school or highly subsidized food. And free food today means spend a lot in the hospital tomorrow. So please don't fall for this one. If you don't have time to cook, it's really worth making double dinner and putting it in your lunchbox and taking it to work or school. The third reason is can't cook. And this is a problem today because so many mothers don't cook anymore. I remember that my mother used to cook, and I never had to be taught how to cook because I just watched her and I already know how to cook. I can taste something and replicate it just because it's instinctual. And I believe this instinct can be learned by anyone just as soon as we make up our mind to cook. So everyone can cook. Please try to cook. And even if you can't cook every day, if you learn a bit of how to cook, you will find that you're much more self-sufficient. Today we learn algebra and geometry and history in school, and we don't learn how to cook. We really should learn cooking first. So all mothers, all parents, teach your kids how to cook so that they won't be in the same situation as some of us are today. Socializing. Sometimes we think, what will we do if we can't eat out? Because it's so important for socializing. However, I do know that when we are clear about what we want to eat, our friends start eating the way we do. And I have an Israeli couple who, one of them had asthma and the other had carotid blockage. And the doctor said that he had only a year to live, but he's still alive and it's so many years now. They started cooking with their friends in a village. Their friends loved their cooking, and they said, now we have a sangha and we always eat together. And the last but not the least is that we're foodies. I don't know about you, but I'm a foodie for sure. And actually, that's what saved me. Because when I eat organic food in my house and when I put my own energy and cook it myself, it tastes so much better than some of the best restaurants. Today, recently an amazing restaurant has opened in Oroville and has lots of vegan dishes, and it's really delicious. But when I eat there, I can see that the food is not organic. I can actually taste the difference. And they put a tiny bit of sugar in everything so that the food tastes better. But I never do this at home, and my food actually tastes better. So when you start cooking at home with high quality ingredients, you won't feel like eating out anymore because the food at home is so good. Has anyone experienced that over here? Please type in yes if you've experienced that. Oh, nobody. Well, then, oh, good, good, good. That's wonderful. Okay. For the rest of you, I'm really glad you're here with me today. I hope you will all experience this someday because it's so wonderful. It's such a wonderful feeling to, have a fridge full of food. You go home in 10 minutes, you can cook an amazing meal, and it's always delicious. Yes, sometime after this, you can't eat anymore in a restaurant. Good. I'm happy to hear from all of you. Number five, medicines. Medicines actually come in the way of healing. And I've seen in our 21-day program that I help people get off medicines, and many of them are off all their medicines, and they see their test before they leave. But when they go back and see their doctors tell them, no, you shouldn't get off statins, or you shouldn't get off this or that. And when they start the statins or the blood thinners or some few, little medicines again, their values actually get worse. I can't, I mean, I was surprised at this, but I've seen it over and over and over again. Less medicines makes you healthy faster. Now, there are a few medicines that you can stop right away and you don't need to ever take them again. And one is painkillers. I know that we take painkillers for pain, but painkillers are a bit like sugar. The more you take, the more you need. So, the less painkillers you take, the more you'll be in tune with your body, and you will do what your body needs in order to heal by listening to your body. The second is anti inflammatories. The reason our body produces inflammation is to heal. When you get a cut, everything becomes red around it because the body sends more blood flow to that area so that the blood can clean up and fight the infection and help you heal. We should never take anti inflammatories if we want to heal. Statins and anti cholesterol medicines. If you're on a whole plant based diet, you're not taking any cholesterol. In fact, if you're on a plant based diet, you're not taking any cholesterol. So don't take anti cholesterol medicines. If you're not taking fat anymore, no oil, no fat, then you don't need blood thinners anymore. Blood thinners are like Ecosprin, etc. Stop taking these. And many people think that Ayurvedic medicines and homeopathic medicines are harmless. But anything that can produce an effect can also produce a bad effect, and therefore it's not harmless and we shouldn't use them. So avoid any medicines that you don't really need, and this list of medicines can be easily taken out of your cupboards. Medicines never cure, only the body heals. Do you know anybody who's been cured with medicines? I mean, honestly, even chemotherapy for cancer, I've seen patients who say, I had chemotherapy and now 2 years later, I've got a recurrence of cancer. Can you help me? And when I say, yes, I can, don't take the chemotherapy again because it didn't help you in the first place. Sometimes they reply saying that, well, it cured me for 2 years. 2 years is not a cure. Cure means you never get that problem again. And this happens only by lifestyle changes. Number 6, toxic chemicals. Today we are facing a whole host of hormonal problems, and chemicals are hormone disruptors. What are the hormonal problems we are facing? Diabetes, hypothyroid, polycystic ovarian disease, infertility, uh, breast cancer, and prostate cancer, the most common cancers. These are all hormonal problems. Do you know even vitamin D is a hormone? And vitamin D deficiency is very common. So these are all hormonal problems. Now, what are the toxic chemicals in our lives? Toothpaste. Look at the ingredients of toothpaste. Would you ever put any of those ingredients in your mouth? Probably only the sugar. So let's think twice before we put all kinds of things in and on our body. Hair dyes, makeup. Makeup has lead in it, and skin absorbs your chemicals from the hair dyes and the makeup and the shampoos and the conditioners and the lotions. Why do we need lotions? You can use your extra virgin olive oil and coconut oil in the bathroom instead. Lotions have all kinds of chemicals in them. And perfumes and deodorants, these are just chemical um, cocktails. And then pesticides. Sometimes we spray our houses with pesticides. Detergents and soaps, and especially the soaps that we wash our dishes with. What if that all doesn't get washed off? And I've seen people rinse their dishes so badly that there's always some chemicals left on it. And window cleaners. You know, when people spray window cleaners, the whole room smells of it. So we are actually breathing in these chemicals when we spray them. And air fresheners. I've been to places where they have air fresheners built into the room. Taj hotels in India often has these. Now, air fresheners that you're breathing all day long instead of fresh air is actually hormone disruptive. And people who work in these environments are likely to get hormonal problems. And then the next thing that we need to work on is emotions. Many of us know that we've got our diseases because of emotional problems. A serious stress, and you get diabetes. A serious stress, and we have hypertension. Repression of emotions causes cancer. So we really need to learn how to handle our emotions. And here are some tips. My teacher, Dr. Rajan Sankaran, used to say, disease is delusion and awareness is cure. Awareness is cure. When we are aware of all the toxins around us, when we are aware of the kind of toxic emotions people are throwing at us, we can put up an emotional shield and not be so affected by it. Also, when somebody gets angry, sometimes we feel hurt and we think for a long time, why did they say this to me or why did they do that to me? Can we just turn it around and start looking at it from the other person's point of view? Maybe if we were to see it from their perspective, putting ourselves completely in their shoes, we would understand another perspective which would make us be a little more relaxed with our emotions and not react so much. It's really important to understand that what you focus on expands. If I focus on the negative things that happened to me today, my whole day is going to look gray. But if I focus on the things that happened really well, my day is going to look positive, because every single day has a bit of both, but it all depends on our point of view and the way we decide to see it. So how can we try to make our days positive? By focusing on the good. Always focus on the good, never focus on the bad. And there's one way to focus on the good, and that is to write a gratitude journal. When you wake up in the morning, write down 5 points that you are really thankful for in your life. And that already gets you in a positive note. You might be thankful for the sunshine that day. You might be thankful for the fact that you have two beautiful children. Whatever it is that you're thankful for, write those 5 points down. And then before you go to bed, again write down 5 points. So no matter what happened in the day, you've wrapped it up on both ends with positivity. Resentment is a very negative emotion, and sometimes it's not seen because we don't talk about the things that we resent, but it stays in our mind for a long time and festers. In fact, it's much, those people who say something and get it out, it's much better for them than those people who are always, on the surface are really kind and good and nice, but the anger stays inside. So if you feel something, try to express it in the most, um, I would say, in the way that it won't hurt anybody, but you have expressed it, because then it won't stay inside you. Sometimes we take things too personally. For example, when say somebody doesn't greet you in the morning or just walks past you, you might think that it has to do with you. But usually it doesn't. Usually it has to do only with that person, what they're thinking of, what happened to them that day, and we take it on ourselves. So stop taking things personally and keep things, uh, recognize that people do things only only because of what's happening to them, and it usually has nothing to do with you. However, if they tell you something, listen to it, think about it, and see whether it really has something to do with you. And if it does, make the corrections when you can. Remember that it's only a really good friend who will tell you something that's hard to tell, and we need to thank them and change accordingly. And don't be too serious or too attached to anything. For example, I'm really serious and I'm really attached to you getting amazing results. But can I really do anything about it? All I can do is let you know what are the ways that you can get well, but then it's up to you. There's no point in me being too attached to that, because there's nothing I can do about it. So see whether the things you're attached to, if they cannot be changed, accept them and move on. Now, one of the reasons that we have so much stress is because I see many people who are living and doing things that they don't really want to do. Perhaps you don't really love your job, or you're not doing something that makes you feel fulfilled. We are all born here on this planet to live according to our highest purpose, our spiritual purpose. And that's why in Indian philosophy, we have three stages in life. The first stage, which is education and youth. The second stage, which is like a householder. And the third stage, which is our spiritual purpose, a spiritual stage. And sometimes we keep on living the stage of a householder, doing the job till you know, till we're quite old, and, being very good at our work, etc. But we don't um, we don't think, what is our purpose on this planet? What would you like to be remembered for? Would you like to be remembered as, you know someone who earned a lot of money, or would you like to be remembered as something else? And what is that something else, and how can we devote enough time to that something else? And I had recently a patient who had diabetes for a number of years, and he wasn't getting better, and he took a consultation with me, and we spoke about some of these things. And he said, I'm spending my whole day at work because it takes me 2 hours to commute to work and 2 hours to commute back. And I get back really late and I'm exhausted, and then it's the next day. But after we spoke about this, he changed his life. And the next time, within 15 days, the next time I spoke to him, he said, You know, I'm leaving for work at 6 in the morning, so I beat the rush hour and I'm there in half an hour. And then I do my work and I'm back at home by 5. And now I can do other things and I'm so happy. Can you imagine? Sometimes we just don't think about how we could change our life and get happy. Now, I want to share with you a few very simple stress busters. One is sleep at the right time. Our body heals, and it starts healing during our sleep, and it starts healing at 10 o'clock. And it heals maximum in the first part of the night. So please go to bed at the right time. Exercise and sports. When we do sports, we release serotonin, which makes us feel happy. And sometimes when we're stressed, have you ever seen that you just go for a run or you go for a swim and you feel much better? Isn't it worth it? And as I said, the gratitude journal. Such a simple thing, it will take only 5 minutes of your time. And when you get really good at it, you can even write 10 in the morning and 10 points at night, and you will find such a difference in your life. Travel. Number 9, travel. We are all traveling these days. The world has become very global. And I suggest that you plan your travel. Sometimes we're traveling for business and sometimes we're traveling for pleasure. If you're traveling for business, choose a hotel where you can get food according to your needs. I had a consultation of someone who was in Nairobi, who was from Nairobi, but was in Italy for a month. And he chose a hotel and told the hotel exactly what he needed and how he needed oil free food. And they were doing it for him. When I was in Kenya and I went on safari, they did oil free food for me. If you plan your travel and tell the hotel about your needs, they will do it for you. Minimize your travel. I would like to be with all of you, and I'm managing it without a bit of travel today. So, can you do some of the things that you want to do online as well? Perhaps you can do more than you imagine. I really couldn't imagine doing webinars because I was so scared of um, IT. I'm scared of IT. But it's not that hard. And now it's, working better and better. And if you must travel, look after your body. I've seen people, they take red eye flights and they travel in the night and do all kinds of things. And even if you have a bed in your plane, it may not be worth it. So why not, get up at the right time of the day, take the flight that makes it easy. Maybe you lose a few hours, but it's worth it in the end, because if you're tired, you can't do work anyway. And if you're choosing holidays, choose carefully from a variety of healthy vegan holidays that are available all over the world now. You can even go on vegan and healthy vegan, um, what do you call them? Um, when you go on a ship, you can even go, I'm just losing the word right now, but cruises. You can even go on healthy vegan cruises these days. That's how much veganism has spread. And if you're in amazing places like London, there's plenty of healthy vegan restaurants. And my favorite one is Tibbetts. I love Tibbetts because even though they have a few unhealthy things, they have so many healthy things to choose from, and your plate always looks like a rainbow. And I just want to suggest that you remain in touch with us, because when we are in touch with people who are doing the same thing as us, then it's easier to stay on track. And this could be, if you've done a program with us, your WhatsApp group, be in touch with the people there. Or it could be through webinars like I'm doing today. It could be through our newsletter. Make sure that our newsletter is not going into your promo box or not going into your spam. And then find the time to read it. It's really hard, I know, but we try to make our newsletters as short as we possibly can so that you can actually read them in 10 minutes and they might give you some tips. Join our cooking classes wherever we have them. And we're trying to get them all over the place. So if you're a good cook, let us know. Join our potlucks, or, I recently did a seminar in Chennai for the first time. And I don't have a lot of support there because it was my very first time to do a seminar. But there were two people in the seminar who actually organized potlucks after that. I was so impressed because they said, we don't want to lose the connection. So you can organize potlucks even if the organizers in your area don't have potlucks. And then internet is a really good way. And if we don't have cooking classes in your area, remember that you can find all the healthy vegan recipes on YouTube as well. And PCRM, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, PCRM, I'm just going to type it into the box. PCRM has a vegan kickstart. And if you go to their website and join the kickstart, you will get a recipe and sometimes even a YouTube recipe in your box every single day. Isn't that amazing, the power of the internet? If you also look on the internet and spend 5 minutes on vegan every day, maybe by joining our Facebook group or other vegan Facebook groups or vegan groups in your area, you will learn bits and pieces every day which will never make you want to go back to conventional lifestyle. And if you're in Pune and you would be interested in cooking classes, please do go to Bombay. Bombay has amazing cooking classes. But by the way, we are also having cooking classes in Pune now. So if you don't know about these, get on our website and join our newsletters, free newsletters, and you will get information about these. And then do come to our seminars, even if you're coming for the second time, because there's so much to learn when you come again. If you'd like to be on our WhatsApp broadcast list, Send the words "add me" with your name and city to +91 9967425200. And I'm going to add this in the chat box so that it stays with you for a while, and you could write it down while we're going ahead. Okay. Now, one bit of caution: avoid being too health conscious. Believe it or not, that's true. Because sometimes when we're too health conscious, we want to check on everything, and we are counting every calorie that we eat, and then it's not fun anymore. And I've been vegan and whole food and plant based for so long, and I enjoy it. I don't want to live another way. But that's because I've never forced anything on myself. I make I open go home and open the fridge and see what do I really feel like eating today, and do whatever I really want to do, so I'm always happy. But if we put too many rules, and that's why I never give anyone a day to day food meal plan, because we should eat what we love. You should not have to eat according to my meal plan. So I only give you guidelines. One thing very important is that the food should be delicious. If it's not, this whole thing is not sustainable. So make sure that you find a way to cook and make your food really delicious. And your diet should be sustainable. Don't try to eat less. Don't try to be hungry. Try to really enjoy. And honestly, when you eat organic, the foods are so good that sometimes preparation is minimal. I always have the best food in my house. I always cook for myself. And those of you who are from India, you will understand what I'm saying when I say I only use one cylinder a year on an average. And that's because my food is so good, the quality is so high, I don't even feel like cooking it and killing it. So try to get the very best quality of food, just like you put the best kind of petrol in your car. So that's all from me today. I want you to reach your very highest potential. And now I'm open for questions. So if you have a question, would you type it in? Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. I'm so happy that you got some insights from this. I do believe that we all learn from each other. And so I'm really grateful to you for coming for these webinars. What should be the target sugar readings after dropping medicines? How to explain to doctors that we want to reduce the medicine? Actually, if your sugar readings are low, your doctor can't do anything but reduce the medicine. And if your doctor cannot help you reduce the medicine, once the sugar readings are going lower, start reducing the medicines yourself. So, in Indian terms, I would say if all your readings are under 130 or 120, you can start reducing medicines. And in case you're measuring in the other way, for those of you from UK or maybe Dubai, if your blood sugars are under 7 or 7.5, you can start reducing medicines. The way to reduce medicines is keep a chart and write down your blood sugars every day. Thank you for your thanks. My naturopath said that if you are not having oil at all in the day, it could lead to Alzheimer's or dementia. So he recommended a teaspoon of pure cow's ghee at night after dinner. Now, here's what I can tell you: always check if your naturopath, homeopath, whatever path you have, is in the pink of health. If they are, trust them. If they aren't, check out whether you're right in trusting your doctor. I'm in menopause stage. Hormone levels are high. Is that the reason I have itchy sensation all over the body? You know what? Hormone is not, or rather, menopause is not a disease. And today it feels like one. And the reason it is because we're having all these hormonal influences. So if you have a hormonal problem, put everything right. Our pituitary is like a conductor of the huge hormonal orchestra. And whenever one hormone goes off, all the others get shaken. So make sure that your vitamin D is in order. Make sure that you take all the chemicals out of your life and clean up, and you will feel better. You know, I can tell you something. If you are doing whole plant based organic diet, you will not even notice menopause. You will not even notice menstrual pains. You will not notice any of these hormonal problems. And Rhoda, if your naturopath is in the pink of health, follow him if you believe in that. Uh, Sharmila, I am also concerned about my calcium intake since I am also menopausal. Tell me something. Do you know people who have osteoporosis? Most of them take calcium tablets, and are they ever getting better? However, all the horses, elephants, and other animals who don't take ghee, by the way, or hormone or calcium tablets are fine. Calcium deficiency is not found Calcium intake deficiency is not found in human beings. It's usually a lack of vitamin D or taking acidic foods. If you're taking a whole plant-based diet, you're not taking acidic foods, and so you don't need to worry about this. All you need to worry about is vitamin D. Please try to start online cooking courses. Okay, we will think about it. Vitamin D and B12 is fine, good for you. Always keep checking. Toxic chemical items mentioned. Does that mean we need to find organic toothpaste? Shall I tell you something? I don't brush my teeth anymore. Why don't I brush my teeth? Because I found that animals don't brush their teeth and they have better teeth than we do. However, if you can't do what I do, try brushing your teeth with a soft toothbrush and no toothpaste, or put just a minimal toothpaste on it. And yes, you could find an organic or natural toothpaste. After becoming vegan since 3 months, my IBS has vanished. Congratulations. And I stopped medicine. I still take my sugar tablet morning and evening and reduce my thyroid medicine to alternate a day. My sugars with my glucometer are 129 and 189. But I develop back pain and leg cramps when I do walking and exercise. Okay. So you need to do all your tests because your B12 may be low, your D may be low. That won't help you get your sugars in place. And also, you've been become vegan only since 3 months. And remember that only one disease can heal at a time. Everything cannot heal at a time, and you're already doing good because IBS has gone, thyroid has reduced, and if you check your B12 and D and replace where required, you may not need to do anything else. Your sugars will go down. My ankle area swells when I am sitting whole day. Okay, so Jayanti, you got a whole bunch of things to do. Follow everything that we I suggested today. What is the substitute for toothpaste and shampoos? Whenever we think of these kind of questions, think of the animals. We wash ourselves like crazy. Our body actually does effort to produce a fat layer on our skin to protect the skin, and we wash it off every day. So, the substitute for toothpaste and shampoos is no toothpaste and no shampoos. And if you can't do that, the most natural ones that you can find. And that means less shampooing, less brushing your teeth, and maybe just washing your hair often with warm water. Now, whatever I'm telling you is what I do. And I've been doing it for a number of years. And I found that if you wash yourself less, you stink less because there are certain bacteria that are good bacteria even on our skin, and they remove the bad bacteria or take the place of the bad bacteria. But if you keep washing them off, you make room for the bad bacteria to be on you. And if you clean from inside, you tend to stink less. Magnesium and selenium are definitely essential, but they should come from your food. Eat organic. Okay, Dr. Ramesh is saying I dropped a load of supplements after starting the SHARAN way. Now the blood reports are better than normal. Yes. And Dr. Ramesh is already over. Dr. Ramesh, what's your age? Type it in, please. I forgot. 70 plus, I think. And he doesn't use toothpaste and his mouth smells awesome. Wow. And Alka is saying my skin allergies increase with vegan diet as I'm allergic to nuts and peanuts. Oh, by the way, you don't need to have nuts and peanuts to be vegan. You can have seeds and other things as well. We are not, and if you are having nuts, it's only 10 nuts a day anyway. So um, maybe Alka, you should join for a consultation and we can see your personal problems privately. Satish is saying, I had a heart attack about a year back, and I've been a vegan for the last 1 year, and my statin levels have been consistently reduced by the doctor. Now I've reached the lowest level of statin possible. You haven't yet because the lowest level is 0, and you can get there. The doctors are slower to reduce the medicine, and let's not blame them because they put you on the medicines because they thought it was good for you. So we can't blame the doctors, but we have to start thinking different. I was on supplements for vitamin B12 and D. Good, good, good. What are the alternatives for dishwashing liquids and abrasives? You know what I use? I use a microfiber cloth. And we are cooking without oil, so there's no oil on the dishes anyway, and microfiber picks up every little bit of dirt, and you can get these in any regular shop because they're used to clean computers. The doctor doesn't want to remove the statin, then join our consultations or remove it yourself and keep checking your levels. Okay, and Dr. Ramesh is 63 years old. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. I started the SHARAN way in May 2015, and my hemoglobin HbI improved, and I feel glad I found SHARAN. Oh, thank you for that. I reduced my medicines, but now I feel I need to go to the next step and not sure how. If you're not sure how, I suggest consultations. That's why we have so many doctors on our panel. We can help you, or come to our seminars again. Keep in touch. You will get all the answers. Remember, animals don't need doctors, and we do. The answers are all in your mind, or rather in your instinct. But meanwhile, we can help you get the answers if they're not coming out of your mind. My aches and pains have reduced. Wonderful. Is it true that good calcium scores from a blood test hides the fact that calcium deficiency can be hidden? Oh my God, we're stuck on calcium. By the way, blood calcium scores has nothing to do with bone density. If you want to know how your bones are doing, you need to check bone density. Yes, I'm so happy you all are getting to the next level. Congratulations. So now it's time to end, and I want to do one more just to know from you how well you all did or how useful this was. I'm asking you, how useful did you find this seminar? You can click, I already knew all of this and I'm doing it. I knew this, but this has inspired me to do more. I learned quite a bit and I hope I can do it. A lot of info, I don't know if I can do it. So you can vote wherever you want and submit your vote so that I know where you are. Oh, well, that's really wonderful. I'm so glad that it has inspired many of you. And for the rest, I really hope you can do it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you all for coming. I'm so happy that we could all be together and we've overshot our time. So I'm sorry for that. But I'm really glad that we did a good job and that in some way you are all inspired to go to the next level. And I hope you all do. And send me a mail when you do. I'm always happy to hear from you. Okay, I have to say goodbye now. Good night, goodbye. See you next time. Thank you for coming.